For all of the different kinds of hardware and other materials that are currently on board the International Space Station, what there is not one of now is an X-ray machine. But the first X-ray machine for the station will soon be headed to orbit. Let's go to the Payload Operations Integration Center at the Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, where Lori Meggs is standing by to tell us more about this new hardware.
TechShot Inc. has developed an X-ray machine for NASA to be used on the space station for bone scanning. It's called a densitometer, and it's not to be used on human crew members.
The TechShot bone densitometer is an X-ray machine for the International Space Station. It'll be the first X-ray machine put in space. It launches on SpaceX 4.
Probably complicated to do X-rays in space. Is it different than doing X-rays on Earth?
Well, the subject that you're X-raying is free to float about the cabin. So on Earth, you certainly don't have that problem. So there were a few constraints that we had along those lines.
What will this study?
The chief aim of the bone densitometer is really to look at bone mineral density of mice on the International Space Station, looking at things like osteoporosis, certainly a terrible disease for older folks here on the ground, but also affects crew members in space as well.
How does it work?
The machine is a standard X-ray device that's used in labs all across the country where mice are inserted in it. But we had to reconfigure it for spaceflight, had to figure out a way to fold it in half and put it in space. Mice are put in it and they take about 3.5 minutes in the machine to do the bone scan.
So when is it launching?
It's expected to launch in September aboard the SpaceX Dragon vehicle, the fourth commercial resupply mission for SpaceX.
And how long will we take measurements?
Indefinitely. The TechShot bone densitometer will be on the International Space Station indefinitely. And then scientists from across the country will be using that as a resource, as a permanent tool for investigations in space.
So who is actually using your equipment?
Right. So the users of the TechShot bone densitometer are typically NASA-funded investigators through like a NASA research announcement, and commercial researchers. The Center for the Advancement of Science and Space also helped fund the development of the bone densitometer because they have pharmaceutical companies, other sorts of biotech companies who'd like to do whole animal research in space, particularly bone densitometry.
What will it be like, though, to see your technology demonstrated in space?
Oh, it'll be fantastic. We've done payloads that have flown in space on the shuttle before, suborbital vehicles. This will be our first time transferring over to station. So for our company of 25 engineers and scientists, we're very excited about that. I believe that this is a new golden era for spaceflight because of the operational period for the International Space Station, the Space Launch System that's being developed by NASA, all the commercial vehicles, both suborbital and orbital. We're just excited to be a part of this new golden era of spaceflight.